It's that time of the year again, the combine. What's up, Fin fans? So I got a bunch of news from the combine regarding 3 players, and then I got some things that Brian Flores and Grier have said, and then I'll get to one of you guys' comments of the day. So I'm going to get into first what Flores and Grier had to say, and then I'll go into more detail about specific players they talked about. So to start with Flores, he started by saying he never feels like he arrived. He never feels like he's here yet. He says that there's no finish line. He's always going to feel new because there's a lot to be done, which I appreciate, because that means that he's not seeing an end goal, the end of his career, what he wants to do, he's just every day taking it every day, fresh start, new players, new scheme. I like that. I like that concept. I like that thought process a lot. And then he said something really important that I took. That he said a lot has to be done in many different places. We want to build a tough team, a smart team, players that can play under pressure. Now that line, players that can play under pressure, I love. Because if you notice with this Miami Dolphins team in the past, whenever it came down to we have 2 minutes to score, we have 2 minutes to stop them, we need to stop them from getting a first down, we need to gain a first down, you know, there's the toss-up pass, there's, you know, we know that they're going to run the ball, we need to stop the run. We've crumbled under pressure. We've crumbled under having to stop players, have to make those plays, have to do what we need to do. That's why he wants those players that can play under pressure. That once the game's on the line and once we need to do something here, we can do it. I don't remember the last time, 2 minutes left in the game, down by 6, we need a touchdown to win. I felt good. I was like, all right, yeah, we're going to win this one. Or up by 4, up by 5, we need to stop them. Or even up by 3 or up by 2, and we need to stop them from getting in field goal range. And I'm like, yeah, I feel good about this. No, I'm always sitting there nervous, like, oh my God, are we going to be able to do this? Because we never really had those types of player, or the team in general. We've had 1 or 2 players that play really good under pressure, but we never had the team in general that can play really good under pressure. So the fact that he is trying to find this type of team and these type of players makes me very happy. Now, I'm going to go into something that Chris Grier had to say, and then I'm going to talk about the 3 specific players that they talked about in very specific detail. So the thing that Grier talked about the most in his press conference at the combine is the whole tanking situation and the whole idea of what Stephen Ross said and the whole idea of that. So he said that what Stephen Ross said at the press conference was taken completely out of context. They're not trying to tank, they're not trying to lose, they're trying to build. They're trying to build something right now. They're trying to build for the future. And I've talked about that a lot, and I've talked about the fact that they were building for the future, and I always, you know, hated the tanking term, and I always hated the tanking philosophy, because they're not tanking, they're building. There's a huge difference between tanking and building. And he said that's what they're doing. You know, Stephen Ross said that he wanted to get rid of Adam Gase because Adam Gase didn't want to build. Adam Gase was like, okay, let's go out and get Josh Sitton, the old injured player, but he's good. Let's go out and get all these old, expensive, injured players, or let's go get these expensive players because they're good and they'll help us win right now, and we'll have a chance at the playoffs, and we'll have a chance to maybe win a playoff game or maybe get into the playoffs, versus what they want to do now, which is build. Let's have a team that for the next 5, 6, 7 years, we are constantly in the playoffs. That we are constantly the talk of, oh, they're going to win the division. They've won the division for the past 4 years. They've won the division for the past 3 years. Because we have that consistency by building, not by getting these, you know, one-time free agents. You're getting these hit or miss free agents. And he also said, how do you convince 53 guys who put their bodies on the line to tank? How do you convince these guys to lose? And that's why I'm like, they're not tanking. They're not tanking. I know a lot of people are saying, like, okay, so then how will we get our quarterback? If we're not drafting a quarterback this year in the first round, if we're going offensive, defensive line building through the trenches this year, how do we get our quarterback? How do we, if we're not tanking, how do we get in that top 5 to get Tua or to get whatever quarterback we want? Trade up. That's how. Trade up. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles gave up, I think it was 5 picks over 2 years. They also gave up 2 players that Maxwell sucked, and Kiko Alonso was okay. But they gave up 2 players and just switched firsts with the Dolphins. And then they gave up a few more picks to get from 8 to 3 or 8 to 2. It is doable. You don't have to mortgage a draft to move up. So say we do finish at 8 or 7. It's not going to be that hard to get up to 2, Or look at what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. They went from 27th to 10 to get Patrick Mahomes. So if you want that quarterback, you're going to make it happen. You're going to trade up, and you don't have to trade the farm to do it. That's what they said in particular about, Flores was talking about the team he wants, and then Grier was talking mostly about they're not tanking. Stop saying we're tanking. We're not tanking. So let me get into some specific players that they were talking about. So first, Ryan Tannehill. It was very, very interesting to hear what they had to say about Ryan Tannehill. So Flores started by saying, obviously we made some evaluations, but we still got time to make those decisions. He didn't make any commitment to Ryan Tannehill. He also said, having played against Ryan, he has some success against me personally. He's done a really good job, but those things are in the process right now. We haven't made any final decisions. Everything is on the table. Chris and I are aligned on that. Again, what? Just say, look, we're trading him. Right now, what we're doing at the combine, not only are we looking at players, not only are we looking at potential scouting, but we're finding teams to potentially trade Ryan Tannehill to. That's what they're doing right now. Listen to what Mike Mayock, the new Oakland Raiders GM, said about Derek Carr. He said, Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback. You know what Brian Flores said about Ryan Tannehill? All options are on the table. So it's like either Tannehill's getting traded or he's getting cut. Tannehill's not going to be on the team. He's not going to be on the team next year. I know a lot of you guys like Tannehill. I'm indifferent about Tannehill. I want to move on because it's been 7 years and we know what we got. Regardless of the offensive line, regardless of that stuff, he's not the type of quarterback to get us where we want to go. So Ryan Tannehill, that's what I'm getting from this, is they're trying to find a trade partner and they're moving on from Ryan Tannehill. Now, as for Xavier Howard, Grier said he's been hanging around him and he notices that he wants to be with the Dolphins and they want him to be with the Dolphins. Now, next year, he's still under contract, and then after that, they can franchise tag him. But I'm really getting the feeling that especially with a defensive-minded head coach, that they're really going to want to try to keep Xavier Howard. Now, they're might have to pay him around $15 million a year if they want to keep him, if they want to give him the contract extension. But I think that right now is the best time to give him that contract extension and give him that contract, because if he balls out next year and they don't give him that contract, it's going to go higher. It's going to go way more, and he's just going to hit the free agency market. It's kind of like what they did with Jarvis Landry. They should have gave him that contract when he wasn't asking for much. We probably got to sign him for $8 million a year instead of the $13 million he wanted once his contract was up. So you got to make the smart decisions and make the moves before it becomes a shit show. And then they talked about Juwan James, who's going to be a free agent, and they said, we drafted him here. He's a good young player. We'd like to keep him here, and we'll see what the market is and what he is looking for as well. So essentially what that means is they want to keep Juwan James. Juwan James is a solid right tackle. Is he the best right tackle in the league? No, but he's a solid right tackle that we can, fortify that offensive line with. But it all depends on how much he wants, and it depends on how much the market dictates right tackles are going for. If he wants 9, 10, 11 million, then he's probably going to be gone. They're not going to sign him for that much money. But if they can get him to a fair, reasonable price for maybe 2-3 years, where he's getting about $8 million, $7 million with incentives on playing time, on, how well he does and stuff like that, then yeah, that's a possibility that they could re-sign Juwan James. But again, like Grier said, it depends on the market and it depends on how much he wants if they're going to keep Juwan James. Then they talked about Cameron Wake. Now, I would like them to re-sign Cameron Wake. I would like Cameron Wake to accept $2 million a year, because he's only going to probably pay about 1 year, maybe 2, if that. Sign up to a 2-year contract, but have one of it be guaranteed, and not a lot. He's going to retire either next year or the year after. He's going to retire. I'd like him to get his 100th sack. I'd like him to stay with the Dolphins. I'd like him to become retire with the Dolphins, because he is a Hall of Famer. Come on, he's a Hall of Famer. But this is what they had to say about Cameron Wake. They asked him, with the new scheme that Brian Flores is bringing to the Dolphins, does Cam Wake fit that scheme? And they said right now with the roster, with Brian, we're going through everything. So essentially, they're looking at the whole team and they're trying to see, can they fit the scheme defensively or offensively that the Dolphins will be running? He's been a Dolphin. He's been a tremendous player for us. So we'll see what that is right now, and we'll have a conversation with him and his agent, obviously. So like I said before, it all comes down to, does he want to play for us? Does he want to be part of a rebuild? Does he want to take the money that we offer him, because we're not going to break the bank for Cameron Wake? Or does he want to try to chase that ring? So a lot of it has to come with what he wants, but also what the Dolphins want. It has to be a mutual understanding between the both of them. But that's so far what's coming out of the Combine with the Miami Dolphins, with Chris Grier and Brian Flores' press conference. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think about what they said. Let me know what you guys think about my take on what they said. Let me get to you guys' comment of the day. This one comes from Kyle, and he says to me, do the best draft bust for show. All time for last 10 years, all depends on how many you find. Laugh out loud. Fits up. Now, a lot of you guys, when I mentioned this in my last video, which came out really late last night, just to give you guys an insight on that, that video that came out last night was supposed to come out today. But then I found out that Flores and Grier were having press conferences today, and I was like, well, I'm going to put that out. And you guys, I'll link it at the end like I normally do, the end cards with the 2 videos. I'll put it there so you guys can watch it. It's about underrated quarterbacks, so go check that out. But I mentioned in there busts when you guys commented, which was the comment of the day of that video, draft busts. So we should do a video on draft busts. So what I'm going to do is my top 10 best draft picks, if I can find any. Might change to 5, and I might just do it in one video, and my top 10 draft busts. Now, I'm thinking I might do it for however long I've been alive. So I was born in 87, so from 87 to now, or I might just do it for the past 18 years, from 2000, 1999 till now. I'm gonna need some more clarification. Would you guys prefer me to do the last from 87 to now, or would you guys want me to do from 99 to now, or 98 till now, the last 20 years? Comment below. You have 3 options: 20 years, from 2000 to now, or from 87 to now. Comment below, let me know. But I'm going to do that video, draft busts and the best draft picks we've had. Obviously, if it's from 87 to now, Marino's not going to be on there, but obviously Marino's one of them. But so let me know that stuff, but follow me on Twitter. Like I said, as soon as all this stuff came out, as soon as all this news came out, as soon as all these quotes came out, I retweeted them, talked about them. So be sure to go over, follow me on Twitter. Follow my second channel, The Bit Boys. We put out Resident Evil today, episode 6, I think it is. It's getting real good. If you guys have played Resident Evil, if you guys have seen Resident Evil 2, there's Mr. X, the Tyrant. We're about to run into him. It's absolutely terrifying. Go check that ish out. Give this video a thumbs up. Got a lot of news out of this Combine not tanking. Want to re-sign Xavier Howard. Want to re-sign Juwan James. Tannehill's most likely gone. Cameron Wake. It all depends on the money. A lot of news came out, so give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You're going to get these news and notes and videos and craziness from me. So if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell button. Because if you hit the bell button, as soon as I put out a video, you guys see it. You got the notification, hey, Doug put out a video. You can either watch it then or be like, all right, cool. Now I know what I got to watch on my ride home, when I get home, while I'm eating. But I will see you guys most likely either tomorrow or on Friday with another video, possibly the draft video, or if more news comes out from the Combine, like potential trade partners for the Miami Dolphins, you guys are going to get a video. So I'll see you guys real soon. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.